I think this is almost a get right fight. This is almost like let's build some momentum back up if you're Padilla. But then at the same time, they're like, you better bring it because your last fight was boring. You lost, and forgive me for boring. It was a technical fight, but you lost a decision to Kyle Nelson, the old man, old Canadian man, right? Shout out Kyle Nelson. And now we're going to give you a young, hungry dude who, oh, by the way, is a absolute banger and is going to walk in your face and you're going to crack him and he's going to wave you on and say, give me more of that. Let's go. So with all of that being said, minus 170 was the open for the favorite, Fernando Padilla. If you're looking at the live odds right now, the line hasn't changed, AJ. What does that say to you right now, given the unknown Luis Pajuelo is not moving the odds, man? You would think that it would go higher for Padilla, like he'd be minus 200, maybe minus 210 if the odds makers were really on him. This tells me this is going to be a much closer fight than people believe. What do you think?
Oh, this is going to be a much closer fight than people expect. But why I think the numbers haven't really moved right here is because it's just the hardcores betting. And if you're hardcore like us, you know who Pajuelo is and you've seen him do his work, whether it was outside the UFC or when he did the Contender Series. But either way, you know this guy is dangerous. I still like Padilla as the favorite in this one, but this money makes sense to me right here. That plus 140 comeback for Pajuelo is a very, very respectable number, right? Like he can easily get this fight done. The thing is, though, Derek, you were saying it before, is this a comeback fight is this a get right fight for Padilla, or is this just an animal that they're feeding Pajuelo to build up another prospect? I don't think those things are mutually exclusive. Like I think both of those options are on the table for both fighters. It's just how they phrased it and why they took this fight. I think, man, this is going to be fireworks. There's a reason it's opening up the main card.
And bro, the reason that I am interested in this one is because Fernando Padilla, he's long, he's tall, he's lanky, bro. You see him and you're like, those are the perfect weapons. But this is a tiny cage here in the apex, and you don't got a lot of room to work. So Pajuelo, I think he's going to try to. Oh, he has no choice. You have to close the distance. You have no choice if you're him, right? To either get in there or stay on the outside and get pieced up. But if he could force the action and avoid the Juicy J fate, the Julian Erosa fate that Padilla put on him, where he just gets caught and he just gets slept, right? If his chin holds up, I think he's going to make this an ugly fight. And I think that's why they're giving him the matchup, because Padilla looks nice when he's out at distance and clean and doing it, right? But Pajuelo, man, look at the last 10. All of the wins, damn near, except two of them are all via finish, right? So this dude is a finisher, and let's look at these finishing odds. Plus 235 for Fernando Padilla, which I kind of like, man, because if Pajuelo walks into the wrong one, you're getting put down. We know Padilla has the pop on his shot. But plus 315 for Pajuelo, who I think, aside from Padilla showing just a phenomenal chin, I mean, I could see him getting the finish, bro. You bring the violence, raise the ruckus. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about that?
Especially for Pajuelo and that plus 315 TKO. The one thing I that brings me a lot of caution for Padilla is he doesn't check leg kicks, and Pajuelo throws them with everything but the kitchen sink, and that could be a way you get finished here in the UFC. We've seen it happen multiple times. Yeah. You get kicked in the leg, it just doesn't work anymore. The guy comes, beats you up, nothing you can do about it. That can happen right here in this fight.
And you see it. There's violence when this man fights. Even in his last fight, the Contender Series fights against Robbie Ring, right? This dude's black belt. He came in popping stiff jabs. I'm talking. You could tell he was a little nervous because you could see everything was hard, right? Pajuelo was like, okay, all right. He got cracked with a good one, and it was just crazy because there was not a flinch. He got cracked with a solid one and said, "Come on, let's go." And that gave me the oh man, I'm blanking on the name. I'm gonna take too long trying to think of it. Yeah, I'm blanking on it. I lost it. Another Mexican fighter. He came in, same type of attitude, man, in the UFC. Chepe Mariscal. There we go. That's the vibes that I get from Luis Pajuelo. So all I'm saying here is I think more than anything, we're gonna give you picks and we're gonna make you some money, but expect just violence. Like if this was a prelim, this would be #1 sleeper. Let's go. But with that being said, we're here to make you guys some money. So I'm taking the flyer on Luis Pajuelo for those exact same reasons. If you are a Fernando Padilla, you better come fired up because Kyle Nelson just out-decisioned you. And Kyle Nelson's a vet, so that's respect. You can't downplay that. But I think if Pajuelo brings the ruckus, you have to match it. And if you can't match it, I either see him getting outpointed due to damage scoring, or I just see him getting flatlined purely. So I'm going to take Pajuelo and AJ. I'm going to do it. Plus 315 TKO. Let's run it up, man. We taking a flyer. We taking a flyer for real. Go hard or go home. Ride with me if you want, folks. But that's the pick. AJ, give him the pick and the method of victory.
I'm on the other end, folks. I actually like Fernando Padilla, and I'm taking that minus 170 money line. I know it's a little higher, or it's a little bit of a higher buy-in, but man, this guy can either get the TKO, or I can also see him controlling the fight, managing that range, using the long kicks to keep Pajuelo at bay, and winning a decision right here. So I like that minus 170 money for the prop odds on Fernando Padilla.
Right on. And then let me just preface, folks, if you're like, yo, simmer down, homeboy, you going a little hard, plus 140 is a very respectable live dog right there. Like I would take that 9.9 out of 10 times out of the week. So